Hello and welcome to the This Week in the Tech Boy podcast. Let's play our intro song.
Hello and welcome to the Tech Boy This Week in Tech podcast.
Hello, everybody.
Hello and welcome to the
lights. That's better. All right, today we got plenty to talk about. From NTBs to cybersecurity tech-ish stories from the Tech Boy. As promised, I promised you all that a boogie board review would come out, and it's coming out soon. It's the first boogie board review. It's the boogie board blackboard. It's this one here. Still working on it. If you guys want to add some refinements or changes, but I thought I would just demonstrate what the boogie board blackboard pressure sensitivity looks like. Right, and then remember, if you're watching, please send in comments in the chat. So the boogie board blackboard, that's the one level of pressure sensitivity. And then you can go forward on. That's another level of pressure sensitivity. So it has about 2 levels of pressure sensitivity. And of course, just the regular old boogie board still works. So you need to talk about the magnets that are actually on the back of here. So apparently you can stick it on something. And of course, the magnet that's on the bottom of the device that holds the pin. All right, let's get to today's headlines from TheTechBoy.org. And also, TheTechBoy.org has a special update for you all. It is that, well, according to this website, this is not the special update, but this is a nice development. We are the 1,740, oh no, that's not the B, sorry. Sorry to get you guys excited. And hello to our 2 visitors. The Tech Boy is the 1,482,251st largest website in the entire nation of the United States. And if you want to find out how we figured that out, which the data is probably a bit off, I can look at it. It's using a software that's online for free. That's called similarweb.com. And congratulations to NotTheBee for being the 12th largest Christian faith-based website in the entire United States. And Robert Kester says hello, and that is a hello to him. And more from NotTheBee soon. We'll have more from NotTheBee. And also the Google Pixel is tipped to have a nice software bump. Google Pixel's finally getting in with the updates. They might have 5 years of software updates, which would be better than Samsung's support, which Samsung right now is winning the game at with 4 years of software updates and like 5 years of security, or 4 years of software for 4 years security, something similar according to that. Now let's get into some headlines from Sam Mobile, because, well, not from Sam Mobile, but just from some Samsung news around the digital world. Ooh, Robert says that the Flip 5 is sub 700 pounds here. Interesting. For those of you who don't know, we had Robert on the show in podcast episode 11. This is like podcast episode 53. We've been doing this for a year. So podcast episode 11, Robert and I had a nice talk with Eats after. And just get to some general Samsung news, and we'll get to the breaking, disastrous ChatGPT news that's coming out. I'm not going to stop using it, but, just maybe not use it for Bible study. But Samsung, they've launched a new application. It's not new. It's an application that's been out, but it's now rebranded as Samsung Food. It is now on Samsung devices. If you install it, but you can also get it on iOS devices in the Galaxy Store and the Play Store, and it's also on Samsung refrigerators, smart refrigerators. It's supposed to have AI built into it, meal planning. Hopefully you guys can see this on the screen. Let me put it up for you. It's AI meal planning. Don't look over to the far left. That's the village. We don't look at them. Anyway, according to Sam Mobile, Whisk recipe in meal planning app has been renamed to Samsung Food. I downloaded the application and the AI functionality has not been installed or updated or added yet. And let's check in with our chat here. Robert here is saying that he used to have the S9 and loved it. Well, I guess go for it. I guess we can react to that Mr. Who's the Boss video. Then we can get over to our ChatGPT news. And then we can talk about Hyundais and Kias and how it is apparently Hyundai's fault and Kia's fault that their cars are getting stolen by criminals. We'll talk about the technological application to that and just how insanely stupid it is. And then we will talk about, okay, there we go. Just making sure it's not lagging. Then we are going to talk about how it is the second best tech website-ish in the internet. It's not really a tech website. They have lots of tech articles. Not the Bees' birthday today, and we're going to wave their official flag, the one I designed, but whatever, over to celebrate their birthday, which was yesterday. But now let's turn to Mr. Who's the Boss, who may or may not be switching to the Flip 5. Robert, you could have met him for all you know. You're in the same country. Do you live near Nottingham? And as he is chatting in his answer, he could have met Mr. Who's the Boss for all we know. Be sure to subscribe so that that he can beat Apple. That'd be nice. Switching to Android. Here we go.
Wait! Did you download Grammarly?
I've been.
All right, so he's going to be talking about switching to Android using the Galaxy Z Flip 5, and we'll find out at the end if he actually does it. Spoiler alert, no, he doesn't. But he's still looking for an Android phone to switch to, and these are the reasons why.
iPhone user for a long time now, but last
And by long time, he means like 2 years.
month I switched over from my iPhone 14 Pro Max to the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 with no intention of moving back. I love the concept of this phone. I made an entire video when it launched showing you how it's Samsung's biggest upgrade yet, and I genuinely thought that this was going to be it.
Well, yes, but honestly, and as a big Samsung fan here, I'm sad the way that they have fallen, but as a big Samsung fan here, what was he thinking? Getting an iPhone 14 Pro Max, I think. Great telephoto capabilities and everything. The camera's not going to be as good as on the Z Flip, even though they're about the same size. Actually, same size as Flips.
That this was the phone that was finally going to convert me back to being a Samsung user once again. And on the way, I've learned a lot about the state of Android versus iOS in 2023, how Samsung's touches help or hinder that, and what a foldable phone is really like versus a normal bar phone to
I wonder what would happen if he dropped it.
live with.
And also, I don't understand why he doesn't just get the S23 Ultra.
So let's start with the setup process, because it starts out fantastic. It tells you to connect both phones via a cable and you'll be good to go in 30 minutes. And even WhatsApp, the single most historically difficult app to transfer, now has a Move to Android button baked in. But then the first problem arose, it wouldn't detect the cable. I went through 4 cables before it finally recognized one, and then when it worked, it only partially transferred apps with very little app data. So you had to start each one from the beginning. The rest of the stuff like contacts came in dribs and drabs, with some having to then be...
Aaron's probably the only person who can say dribs and drabs and make it sound very official.
transferred again later with the wireless method, and WhatsApp just altogether refused. This transfer, no joke, it became my and Drisha's evening project every day for the entire first week, just to try and get my chats across from this phone to this phone. And for the time being, what I've resorted to is to just link WhatsApp on my new Z Flip to the main WhatsApp account that's still active on my iPhone. But what that means is that I'm effectively still piggybacking off the iPhone.
Yeah, so it's basically like those iMessage server solutions in which you basically have a Mac, like if let's say you want to have iMessage, you basically have a Mac, so you have a Mac running iMessage, and it sends a thing to your phone. Then you send your message, so you can have that beautiful blue bubble, and I realize it's just a green. Send it to the Mac, and then the Mac send it to all your iPhone telling friends. Basically, that's what that is.
And still need to use it once every 14 days so that I can
Dang, imagine the horror of having to use an iPhone every 14 days. Not sure if I can make it. I mean, there are some things that's
stay logged in on my Samsung. Now, all of this hassle is definitely partly Samsung's fault for making a smart switch app that isn't very smart at switching, but it wouldn't be fair to give them all the blame. I mean, you'll have trouble switching from iPhone to any Android nowadays, simply because Apple is now more and more tying every single iPhone app and feature into your Apple ID, effectively increasing the friction that would come from exiting that bubble. So this transition was off to a rough start, but the software actually really turned things around for me. Put simply, I love customization, and you rarely feel when you're using an iPhone like it's lacking, but it's only when you move over to Android after a long time being on iPhone that you reappreciate all of those, oh yeah, I can change that too.
Yeah, like on the cover display of the Z Flip series. People didn't like that there was only a few widgets. There's like an app in the Play Store to let you use full apps. There's some good lock modules. There's everything in there that can basically let you fix it.
Moments. So Samsung, for example, has a suite of apps called Good Lock, and it gives you a level of control so absolutely insane you could spend weeks optimizing every single key of your keyboard or adding in instant shortcuts to popular phrases. You can craft every aspect of your own motion.
That's nice. I've used it sometimes, but of course it locks in the Samsung keyboard, and I use 3 different keyboards, but I'm back on Samsung now. But I was looking to just kind of like do a full reset.
Wallpaper, and you can not just apply icon packs, you can make your own.
Well, I used that icon pack before, or that shape, that little. It's not a squircle, but
beyond that, this phone reminds me of a banana, so I went all in on that. And what's really refreshing about using an Android again is that when you have those little niggles, which I did, like how if you want to search for an app on Samsung's default home screen, you have to execute some pretty advanced finger gymnastics. Or how I've got so used to flicking down the control panel on an iPhone to change brightness in one swipe, which again is not the case here. It feels tiring. In almost all cases, it's just a case of finding the right app or setting and you can fix them. I guess the point being...
Nice. I wonder what setting it is to fix that searching for an app, because that would be nice. Like, I know you can swipe down and it'll show you like recommended applications and everything, and that's nice, but I wish the keyboard would automatically pop up.
Moving from iPhone to Android, it felt relieving to not be so locked into one way of doing things. Like, I remember getting really annoyed earlier this year. I'd taken some hour-long time lapses on my iPhone, and for some reason, maybe the files were too large, AirDrop kept failing. And it also wasn't syncing to my Mac via Apple Photos, which is how you normally have to transfer videos. And all I could think in that moment was, I wish this was an Android for like 10 minutes, just so I could plug it in, go into the Android folder directory.
It is real sad that you cannot plug in your iPhone to a computer and transfer files. I mean, what? You could probably do that on a phone from 2000. I mean, I'm pretty sure you had to do that on a phone from 2003 to sideload ringtones and apps if you didn't want to get a whole data gap. But you can't do that on an iPhone. I mean, security maybe, but I'm pretty sure you can't access an iPhone's file system. That's unacceptable.
And just drag and drop the files I needed to my computer. Only thing that really does feel like a downgrade here is the Face Unlock. I'm used to using Apple's Face ID for everything, and it's so reliable.
Well, I mean, if I'm Aaron, I wouldn't use Face Unlock on a Samsung phone. I mean, I use a secure complex password. I used to use fingerprint, but and also secure folder. But if I'm Aaron, I wouldn't use fingerprint because like his face is all over the place. If I got access to his phone, I mean, we got 3D. Basically, videos of him moving around and talking, and since it's just 2D and not infrared and everything like that, I just stick to the fingerprint scanner and put in a pin, if that was it.
And so good that you start to forget it's there. Not the case here. Samsung's Face Unlock isn't as secure, so you can't use it to authenticate as many things. It needs you to be closer. It's a little bit slower, and since it's not using infrared, but your actual cameras to snapshot your face, which means it's A, affected by light. So when you try and do this at night, the phone will actually blast you with enough of it to wake you right back up, and B, affected by the quality of those cameras, meaning that it works pretty reliably when folded, because you've got a good...
I think it's interesting that it uses the back cameras when folded up. That's pretty interesting. I mean, it's actually genuinely useful.
set of cameras there, but then noticeably less well when unfolded, as you have to rely on this tiny sensor. It's a pretty minor issue. You can just use the fingerprint scanner, but it leads me on to what I would call a pretty major issue. Yeah, the cameras. When I first saw this phone, I thought, this is amazing. You can zip the phone out, you can double tap and get high quality selfies taken with a proper set of cameras.
That's great, but like, who takes selfies that much? Why would I put down $1,000 for selfies? Please tell me. I want to know.
The same set of proper cameras that you can also use for taking rear.
Again, that's basically iPhone 7 Plus cameras, wide, ultra wide. Yeah, that was nice back in 2016, but come on, please give us a zoom. Please. You've had zooms on the A72 series, which is cheaper. You've had zooms on the you had like a flip out camera on the A80 or 90. You had zoom 2 times on the Galaxy S10 from 2019. The only phone from that series that didn't have a zoom. Wait, no, not from this S10 Plus. Sorry, the only series S10 and S. No. The only series that didn't have that was the S10e, but it was $799 and it was smaller. This is a 6.7 inch. I mean, I'm not saying I had a 3 times optical zoom. That might be a bit hard, but adding zoom to the would be good. Is what I'm saying.
Photos.
Like, am I wrong here? You're paying $1,000 for a phone that if they try to sell that without the hinge, without the back screen, you just sell that. It's welded together. Would anyone buy it? No, I wouldn't buy it. It's too narrow. Okay, the cameras are bad. The battery life is iffy. Right, it's the 3,700 milliamp cell, which might be enough to give it a new chip. There's no in-screen telephoto camera. I mean, in-display fingerprint scanner. That is essentially a budget phone. They put a hinge on it. Oh, wow, it folds. Okay, now we can sell it for $1,000.
And in some ways, this feeling was spot on. The fact that when the phone's folded up, its primary set of cameras are already facing you, that's really powerful because it makes them the default option. It creates a situation where the quickest way to take a selfie is also the best way to take a selfie. And this works really well since you can also use these cameras while propping at any angle in cover screen.
That is nice that it has basically built-in tripod
mode. And they've made the navigation really natural too. You just swipe to flick modes and you tap the screen to start recording. The stabilization is pretty great. I love how Samsung makes faces look both crisp but at the same time flattering. And to be fair also, thanks to some pretty smart AI, the phone's ability to zoom in is not as bad as you might think given that it has no actual zoom camera. But everything else is a little disappointing. I mean, for starters, while this whole time I've seen it as one massive perk that you can flip the same set of cameras to use as both the front and the rear, until I actually used it for a prolonged period of time, I completely neglected the con that also comes with this, in that in its default position, you have no rear camera. Anytime you want to take a video of what's in front of you with one hand, it's not tap tap like I'm used to. It is tilt the phone up, find a way to wedge your thumb in, which is pretty difficult considering there's almost no gap now, push it all the way, rotating your finger because you're conscious not to dig your nail.
I mean, maybe, but who takes videos? First of all, you shouldn't be taking videos vertically unless it's recording for like a TikTok. Record them horizontally. So you'd use 2 hands for that, right? Besides, you always talk about how that phone's super heavy, it's 6.7 inches. You're telling me that you're now just taking out of your pocket one? Nah.
Into the fragile foldable screen. Half the time I then accidentally opened this menu, so close that and then press and swipe out for the camera, followed by a final swipe to get to video. Now, I'm dramatizing this a little bit to make the point, but when you're getting your phone out for the 40th time in a day, which I was just yesterday because I was out viewing houses and needed to take photos of every single room, you really do start to think, oh, this whole opening and closing thing, it's effort. And that what a phone like this really needs is a button that can automatically flip the phone into its fully unfolded position.
I mean, that would be nice, but it would require either A, motors, or B, like a really flippy, like from an old school flip phone, just like a release hinge. And if it had motors, those would drain the battery and be kind of bulky because you'd have to integrate them into the hinge. And you'd probably have a phone with the hinge that looks like this, basically. Hopefully you guys can see this. Oh no, you weren't seeing the video. That's unfortunate. Okay. Or anyway, here's his podcast, his skit.
Because you're conscious not to dig your nails into the fragile foldable screen, half the time I then
Yeah, whatever. Or if you had a button, you might break the screen and you would have a phone that ends up looking like this, but like bad.
there is no microphone that faces you. So you end up with this really weird trade-off where you can either have good video but mediocre audio when you're using this, or
Yeah, I mean, I'm hearing it in that's bad. Ear a little better. It kind of feels like that the audio centers left, center, right, and it feels like the entire center. This would be really good if I had like a decent editor. That the entire center of the you don't hear any audio coming from there, but you only hear it left and right.
or you can have good audio and then mediocre video, because
I mean, maybe the audio is just bad all the way around. But I mean, if you compare the skin tones in here, that is bad.
this inner selfie camera has a microphone directly above it. And let's be very clear.
Oh man, that's awful. Look at this. Basically, this looks like something I took on my Kitty Zoom watch when I was 10 from VTech, and not even the DX3, DX2. And this looks, that looks decent. But of course, like, that's what we expect front-facing cameras to look like. I mean, the lighting conditions don't look obviously that good. And it also looks like the front-facing camera zoom in a little bit more, produce some more bokeh. But you see how you can see the individual lines in each brick. So I guess you're taking surveillance pictures that are being put.
I'm not exaggerating the quality difference between these two sets of cameras. Anyone can tell that one's good and one's not. And to be honest, cameras aren't even the only area where you feel the teething problems of foldable phones.
I just noticed he had the boxes of each phone, and I can barely see it's black, so it's kind of like blended.
Phones right now. But if you're enjoying this video, then a sub to the channel would be Galaxy Brain.
Galaxy Brain Vince down.
Drinking ice water dissolves 67 pounds of fat. If you're over 35 and are struggling.
Now, don't get me wrong, there have been plenty of moments where I've discovered some new niche, nifty perk from the fact that my phone can bend.
Yeah, you can take your phone, don't quote me on, well, I guess you can quote me on this, but don't sue me on this. You can take your phone, you can, and then it sounds like a slap whistle.
Like how often when I film, I keep my phone on my desk and sometimes pick it up to remind me what I wanted to say. But with this, I can use the bottom half to prop up the top half, and I can see it without even picking it up. Or how, like a couple of times when I've taken video calls, this new, even sturdier hinge is the reason that I've been able to take them hands-free and actually cook something at the same time. It's so freeing and refreshing, and it's in these specific moments that you feel that.
You guys think that Samsung is moving towards a foldable future? What I mean by that is that, say after the S25, S26, they'll cancel the S line, except for maybe the Ultra, because all those cameras and it's going to be kind of hard, for the productivity angle. But say S just gets taken away, right? And you just get left with the S Plus series, and the S Plus series just gets folded into the Z Flip series. Once they get the cameras right, once they finally figure out to make the screens, because I don't want to nail something like that. Once the hinges get better and they get dust resistance and everything that's come over the next generations and get the software just right, you think that they'll basically be like, okay, foldable phones are the future now. Those are flagships, foldable flagship, and they have better video modes and support, and app developers are now supporting them, and slab phones are old and announced for mid-range phones. And then maybe by 2030, 2035, they'll phase them out entirely.
Validation for straying away from the beaten path and actually choosing a phone that's a bit different. But
I guess that's nice, but I'm gonna choose phones based on the features. I want my next phone to be probably a Motorola Edge Plus, a Motorola Edge 40, or S23 Ultra. I want that. I really want cameras or productivity. Or both, actually, which is why I go with the Ultra, and also Samsung software.
This is such a bittersweet experience is that for every single one of these moments where you start to question why you didn't start using foldables earlier, something else will very shortly come up to remind you. Like the fact that the top half of your screen on its own is not really big enough to do anything with. It fits such little information on it that I started to find I was scrolling twice.
Yeah, of course. Just Samsung Notes, they should be optimizing this. These notification bars and shades, they should have some sort of teleprompter mode. Give it to that. Every piece of screen real estate matters here, but I do like that it goes all the way down to the bottom.
as often, and that I was actually just better off using a bigger phone and propping it up against something.
Well, it's not technically bigger, it's wider, but not bigger.
One of the things I was really excited about with this was the possibility of being able to watch content in any situation and actually have a great viewing experience because the angle of the phone can be adjusted. But it only took 2 days of me trying to make this work for me to decide, actually, this doesn't make any sense. The amount of horizontal room you have to display a video on this folded screen is...
I mean, it looks good to me. I mean, I'd watch a video like that. I watch videos in picture all the time, so that's basically 3.5, 4 times bigger than what I normally watch them at. Although, like, those black bars, like, it's lots of wasted space. Maybe you could move it up, show some comments down there. But I do like that the player controls are down here. Maybe you could get, like, a transcript or something. I use that for captions, but that is a lot of blank wasted space.
So tiny that I'd literally be squinting to try and see what's happening. And so the compromise I've ended up with is using a slight bend to allow the phone to stand up sideways. So you can still get that full screen experience and prop your phone up without using a separate stand, but you just...
I mean, I think the phones might be flat enough. I don't have the phone on hand to test this. Samsung, if you want to send it to me, I'd be fine with that. But I think that you could prop it up like normal, just 180, fully unfolded.
Lose what was really exciting about this, which is being able to adjust the angle. And then the other annoying part of this
would adjust angle, but like reading a book.
Is that when the phone is fully open, it's too tall. If most YouTube videos on a normal phone fill 80% of the screen, here, it's probably 65.
I mean, that's fine. I mean, if you think about it, the S6 basically had bezels that big, maybe Note 5, Note 4. So, I mean, it's not like you're really losing that much. I mean, if you zoom in.
Which is small enough that it starts to feel like you're wasting space.
I mean, it's 15% over 50, so...
And that if you try and enlarge it, you're going to lose so much information on the top and the bottom that it's kind of unwatchable. Oh yeah, and...
Well, I don't know what he's watching. Like, if I zoomed in, well, maybe not that much, but like if... Well, this is basically zoomed in here. I mean, we got black bars here and here. If I zoom all the way in, I guess you can see this because he moves at the bottom.
There's also the really obvious crease, which, to be honest, over time you do adjust to, but it just makes the phone a bit less cool. And it does also pose a practical problem if you're trying to watch videos on it with other people, because for whoever's watching from an angle, you will basically just see a big line over your content. Battery life, on the other hand, pleasant surprise. It's not even been close to an issue for me. It sounds bad on paper with its 3,700 mAh cell, but two things. A, I'm spending a third of my time with this phone on this tiny cover screen, which is pretty conservative on battery. And B, the fact that the cover screen is the default has 100% definitely reduced the total time I spend on my phone. It's created far more...
I mean, I guess it makes sense, like, if you don't want to flip it open, but like, if it's already unlocked and everything.
A barrier between receiving a notification and then getting lost in an app that I didn't even realize why I clicked. I'll normally keep the phone folded up on the desk I work on, and then if I get like a WhatsApp, I flick to the side, I tap it to make sure it's not urgent, and then just turn the phone back off. Since there's nothing I can do on this cover screen that's actually fun, it's also not...
Well, I guess he hasn't done the work to do it, so, I mean... If we're going to call it the lack of a feature, it seems kind of Apple-ish to me.
Distracting. I've said this from the very beginning, and I stand by it in the long term, that this ability to create separation between the utility of a phone and the distraction that usually comes with that, that is the single biggest perk of these Z Flip phones. So, am I going to...
Well, I guess...
stick to it? Is it going to be the one to replace the iPhone? No. Part of it is the niggles that come with it being a foldable. Part of it is the pretty severe camera downgrade. But a big part of it is also the ecosystem. So I'm actually not really...
The ecosystem. Like that's basically been, oh, I'm switching to iOS. I mean, Android for a week. Let's see how it goes. Oh, I didn't make it, guys, because the ecosystem.
Fussed whether my phone is an Android or an iPhone. But the one thing that is a non-negotiable for me is that my computer has to be a Mac. For my needs, the fluidity of the Final Cut Pro editing program and the massive lead battery life, these two are both critical because I'm constantly traveling and I'm constantly trying to work while traveling. And so part of the decision...
Go to California. Why would you go there? Have you never heard an Adventures in Odyssey episode?
Has to also be, how easy is it to live with an Android phone and an Apple computer?
I mean, I don't even use Nearby Share. I have Windows and Android. I have, I mean, I should perfectly be synced up with my phone and be texting and everything, especially since I have Samsung. No, I just like use Snapdrop if I want to share files.
And
like if kids, if they want to like text message me, then they'll text message me and they'll get a green bubble. Or like if I'm in a group chat, well, I'm not in a group chat, they'll forward me messages from the group chat so they won't have to be affected by a green bubble. I wonder if Snapdrop works with that. I need to ask them about that. See if Snapdrop works like that.
to be honest, not a massive issue. There are workarounds for almost every single feature, but I have felt the lack of ease. I really miss AirDrop, that's for one.
I use Snapdrop.
If you want to wirelessly transfer between these two, I mean, most guides seem to recommend AirDroid, but it puts ads right in your face, needs a monthly subscription, and also still has a file size limit even if you pay. There's
Dang, that sounds awful.
Warp Share, which can actually fool your Mac into thinking you're sending from an iPhone, but only works one way. And so the best option seems to be Snapdrop,
Yeah, that's what I use.
which looks like AirDrop and even feels like AirDrop in that you're just browsing your files, you tap share, you click via Snapdrop, and then
It works about 90% of the time for me. As in the website comes up, you have to run the same Wi-Fi, of course.
tap on your Mac or PC to send it. But even that's not the same. It's slower than AirDrop. You have one extra press on the Mac of having to click download after the transfer is complete.
Well, I'm not sure about that. You can change that in the settings, but I don't have a Mac. So.
And it also will not continue if you move really far away, like AirDrop does now. Plus,
Well, yeah, but that's a basically brand new update. And like, you can just use the USB-C cable, USB-C to USB-C. It's probably faster anyway.
it feels really weird not being able to take my phone calls on my laptop automatically like I used to be able to with
Pretty sure there's software for that, but I don't know. It's probably limiting himself with a Mac. I mean, Apple's not going to make it easy for him to switch.
my iPhone. It was so handy because it removes that anxiety of always needing to sit within hearing distance of your phone in case someone tries to get in touch. And also,
I mean, they can call back.
AirPods become less good.
Well, yeah, but AirPods are kind of overrated anyway. Which is why people start buying earpods, because then Gen Z wants to be different or something. And I say to Gen Z, if you want to be different, use proper English. I'm talking about American people, obviously. For goodness sake.
They still work, but just as basic Bluetooth earbuds without a lot of their key perks, like automatically pausing when you take one bud out. There's a few more instances like this of the difficulties you get when trying to fit Samsung into an Apple ecosystem, but the point is, mildly inconvenient, not insurmountable, and I'd be willing to put up with it if the rest of the phone had impressed me more. Because as well as all the
It is basically a mid-range phone with, I mean, look at it. Look, the specs are high-end, but the cameras are terrible.
other difficulties, I've also noticed the signal doesn't seem as strong as it does on my iPhone, potentially since there's more layers to travel through when folded. The speakers aren't as loud or as bassy, presumably because they've had
Well, yeah, because the speakers are probably split across two
to make the
towers.
body of the phone slimmer, and the Z Flip gets pretty hot, especially when charging or using a mobile hotspot, with my theory being that it's more cubic shape when folded, reducing the surface area for heat to escape.
And it's also narrower than the iPhone.
Plus, cooling just generally not being a priority here. So I guess the search for the Android that will steal me away continues.
Right, great. What do you think it's going to be? I mean, come on. This would be like an Ultra. S23 Plus seems like a solid phone, in my opinion. But that's that. Now let's go to Asus and Genesis, who has this interesting Chat GPT article. You realize that not realize, but remember that our most famous episode of this podcast series, with 92 views, I think, is about Asus and Genesis and me reacting to their woke AI software referencing Chat GPT. But this Chat GPT, this is worse. Chat GPT created a basically software that not software, a fake Bible verse. That's been posted to Reddit, and it doesn't exist. It's not in the Bible in any version, in any translation at all. Is this lagging for you guys? Yeah, so I'll link this in the chat if you guys want to see this. But ChatGPT, I mean, they need to get that together. I mean, that's not good. at all. Here it is. ChatGPT generates a fake Bible verse. My YouTube live chat is disabled. What? Okay, I'm going to go check out what's going on. Stay here. We're going to check out like, some stories and everything. Let's see what's going on here. Let me try to post it again. It says it looks like your YouTube live chat is disabled. See, can you see this? Okay, you can see messages that have been sent by other people. Let me see. Let me check myself out. Okay. All right, I'm on YouTube. I'm typing in my name. I got some new subscribers. Chat is disabled for this live stream. Why? Okay, I'm gonna go edit this stream. Chat is what makes this live streams live streams. I mean, I might as well just not live stream and upload. I mean, I'm not doing that again because upload speeds are absolutely terrible. And of course, then people require me to edit. Okay, no, it's not made for kids. I mean, if kids want to watch this, they could if they want to. But okay, here we go. I answered the question. It's not made for kids. The live chat should work now. Let me post the link. Oh my goodness, it's still disabled? Okay. No, don't restrict. I'm going in and might as well share this to you. Okay. There. Hopefully you can see what this is behind the scenes here. Where's the chat settings? If anyone knows, please type it into the non-existent chat. Okay, let's just check this out. Customization. Learn more. Why is it disabled? It's not for kids. Come on. Let's turn on live chat. Well, since you cannot live chat on here, since it's been disabled, stupid YouTube, I will just link it into the comments. And if you guys want to ask me questions, you can send them to me via email, I guess. contact@thetechboy.org. That is contact@thetechboy.org. And we have a very special birthday to celebrate today. It is not the bee's birthday. Yesterday, launched 3 years ago, even though they had something up. Okay. So, in honor of this great site, the 12th largest Christian website in the entire United States of America, I would like to present the flag that I so lovingly made for them. I'll zoom in and see this beautiful flag before we react to some stories from it. And since there is no live chat today, I guess if you want to chat in on NTB and ask me questions, or contact me on email or at thetechboy.org, anything like that, that's fine. We'll see if people come in. That's so weird that there is no live chat. And I will leave them live on air. But now here comes the time that you are from the United States. You know they're authoritative. You know that they're trustworthy, and you know that you can believe what they are saying. And that's enough flag waving for today. As a famous person once said, what kind of cars do phones drive? No Kia. Yes, that was me. And apparently no one thought it was funny. But we're going to be talking about Kia and how people are saying no to it. And not no because the cars are bad, or not no because the cars are small. I don't know. I'm pretty sure the cars are good. And like they're not too small. Like Kia Telluride it isn't small, to say the least. But we got the New York Times over here. At least it's an opinion article. It's marginally better than like an actual news article. But gangs of teens are stealing cars in droves, so they want to blame the car manufacturers. All right, Kia and Hyundai, two Korean car manufacturers. A nation that produces some of the best phones in the world. Kias and Hyundais are easy to steal. Therefore, it's Kia's and Hyundai's responsibility that they're getting stolen. And it is not the criminal's responsibility that they're getting stolen. And apparently, these Kias and Hyundais, as the Kia Altimas, as one person once said, the Kias are getting stolen because of videos on TikTok, and they're easy to steal. And it's just like they don't use this complex lock system that's been around for a long time. Okay, and they want the cities to sue Kia and Hyundai for making devices that are easy to steal. First of all, what does easy to steal mean? I mean, to a master criminal, I'm pretty sure anything is easy to steal. But let's look at this logic at face value. And by logic, I mean quote unquote logic. Let's assume that I have a Nokia phone, right? I set this phone and I have important stuff on here, and I have a password 1, 2, 3, 4. Right? And it gets hacked, and it gets wiped, and it gets stolen. Whose fault is it that it got stolen? You could say that it's my fault that it got hacked and everything, and that would be fair. I mean, a little bit of it is on me for using a terrible password. But you don't go blame Google. You don't go blame Nokia that your phone got hacked and stolen. What you do is you blame the person who hacked and stole your phone for using that. Let's use this logic again. Say kiwi casket. Let's say some kid just some girl walks down the street, sees a house. Oh, they have kiwi casket locks. Takes the bobby pins out of her hair and goes and proceeds to pick the lock. Of course, you can't even see the story. Here it is. Whose fault is that? You might say, oh, it's obviously kiwi casket's fault for making terrible locks, which, I mean, I was able to pick one of their locks with the bobby pin legally. But that's beside the point. It's not their fault that they make low security locks. I mean, that's the business model. You shouldn't have to sue them because people broke in and entered them. What you should do is sue and arrest the criminals who did this. Okay, let's take this logic to the next level again. Let's say that, and just something I use in the satire post. Let's say that Microsoft gets in trouble because they don't force people to use 30-digit passwords, and it causes Windows computers to get hacked a lot or something like that. Whose fault is that? No. Okay. And if you look at this on a deeper level, okay, is it TikTok's fault that they're allowing videos showing you how to, I don't know, like steal and carjack a car? No. I mean, it's not TikTok's fault that people are stealing cars because someone showed them a video of TikTok of stealing a car. If I show you a video of, I don't know, like a police chase and some guy is running away from the police chase, this doesn't mean that I'm endorsing that, and doesn't mean that it's my fault if you decide to go get involved in a police chase. I shouldn't be sued. The video hosting platform shouldn't be sued. The only person who's getting in trouble is you. And on another deeper level, apparently the hack uses USBs to, I don't know, turn the ignition in the car. Okay, so is it the USB consortium's fault that I can get a USB and I can turn it like that? Should the USB consortium be liable that you can plug this in and turn it so they alter the USB design to make it more pointed, make it more triangle-y? So we ban all USB sticks now? And it's not like USB sticks are hard to make. I mean, it's a little square, rectangle to be precise. I mean, just turn it in like that, right? The only people who are responsible for these things would be the people who are stealing the cars and the people who are letting them get away with it by trying to sue the car manufacturers. Now, if you're saying that, now if you're in the market for a car, and you're saying I don't want, and you live in a city that's trying to sue this and sue these people and everything like that, I mean, sure, you could say, I don't want a key, I don't want a Hyundai because it's like easy to steal. That's fine. But even if you did buy a key on Hyundai, it's not your fault that it got stolen. It's not the manufacturer's fault that it got stolen. It's not like they're not putting locks on it. And even if they didn't put locks on it, it would still be wrong and it wouldn't be their fault, right? I mean, it's not like the car sucked you in and forced you to drive. Um, and apparently these cars are being used in crimes. It's not like these cars are being driven autonomously. Now, if you said these were Teslas that were being stolen easily, then hey, maybe I believe that a band of Teslas were driving around stealing stuff. But it's not Teslas, it's Kias. So not self-driving, okay? Um, it's not like they're driving around themselves. It's not like they're forcing you to steal it. You, whoever the criminal was, did it, and it's on you, not the fault of the lock manufacturer or the car manufacturer or the software manufacturer or the person or the city government. And that's all I have to say about that. And now we will have some more headlines. And unfortunately, I think I'll just stream for maybe 1 hour since there's no chat here. So you guys can't tell me what you want. Let's see if anyone's sending in any messages here. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to tell people that the chat is broken for today's episode. And the internet's kind of slow for some reason. So I'm going to tell people. Right, here we go. Live. Okay. And we're just going to check to see if people are checking out the articles. Okay, so Galaxy. Samsung Galaxy is getting watch unlock in certain countries. That's interesting. What do you think about Galaxy Watch Unlock? And of course, I know that you can't see, so chat in. Galaxy devices are getting Watch Unlock. Watch Unlock means you can unlock it with your Samsung Galaxy Watch on Wear OS only watches. So sorry, Tizen fans, you will not be getting that feature. Here we go. One UI 5 Watch brings forth Watch Unlock feature to unlock smartphone. That's really interesting. I think that's nice and everything, but I wouldn't use it. It's not secure, or it might not be secure. Well, it is secure, but that the watch has to be unlocked with the PIN or password. So that's nice. It's better than trusted devices, according to this. Ooh, One UI 6 lets you force apps to stay in dark mode. That's nice. That's nice. And the Galaxy R5 moving a major performance boost. Oh, that's great. It seems like the device is gonna get up here for like a long time. I might just cut this short because there's not that much to talk about this week. Wait a second. I forgot. Google is unfortunately ending its Pixel Pass series of devices. So that's unfortunate. Oh dang, Samuel, what's going on here? Okay, let's talk about Pixel Pass. So Google is ending Pixel Pass. No upgrade, no more upgrades for it. Maybe they were losing money, maybe people didn't buy it enough. And another sad cancellation that's going on here, which is kind of sad. It's like one of the last bastions of interesting software and like genuinely useful phones that I never got. The Zenfone series is going to be canceled. Unfortunately, the Zenfone series from Asus is being canceled. There won't be a Zenfone. Was that Zenfone 10? Maybe 9 or 10. I don't think there'll be another one. I think that's the last one. So that's unfortunate. And you know what's also unfortunate? The lack of a live chat on here which kind of hampers my ability to do anything like this. So we can do call-ins, I guess. You can call in to Google Voice number. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's see if anyone calls in. If no one calls in to the next 10 minutes, of course, make sure you don't say any bad words or anything like that. I'll put the number up on the screen so you can see, and hopefully the audio shows well. So let's see if we can do a call-in stream, just like Vince Dow, coming up in the world. I'm going to create a banner. I'm going to put it on the screen, basically bypassing the live chat. There it is. That's our call-in number, 845-328-0140. Let's see if someone calls in. That's my Google Voice number. And if no one calls in, oh, dang, we got like 3 texts and 5 calls, or 7 texts, 3 voicemails and 5 calls, and 47 alerts, and they're all scams. Well, except for that one. Okay, let me see. All right, no one's called in yet. We'll just wait and see. Let me put it online. Okay, I'm saying we're accepting call-ins for the next 10 minutes. This will beat I guess, the YouTube chat moderation setting that's going on. To my one viewer who's watching, please call in on a number on the screen. That's 845-328-0140. All right, and let's talk about that. So we already talked about the Zenfone. I don't think there's a Zenfone 4 because that's like unlucky in China or something like that. Oh yes, so this is the Zenfone 10. It does have lots of character. Oh, you can't see it. Whatever that means. Hopefully you guys are calling in. Let me see. Oh, I closed my Google Voice tab. Let me open that up. You could be calling for all I know. Okay. My Google Voice tab is now open. So sorry to anyone who's calling in. Fit this online again. Anyway, back to the Zenfone. I don't see any. Oh, let's check out the news. It's been canceled, unfortunately. Did you guys like the Zenfone series? Come in, comment below, and call in to the Tech Boy show. And Google Voice is still loading. Please give it some time. Internet's kind of slow today. Here it is. No one's called in yet. I'm gonna keep this open so that people can call in and I'll be able to see. I'll turn notifications on. Allow. Okay. Did anyone email in? Let's see. Leovich Support says, how would you rate the support ticket you got? Oh, okay. And let's see here. Call-ins for the next 10 minutes. 845-328-0140. And our internet, according to this, is really lagging. Make sure to call the number below on screen, 845-328-0140, 845-328-0140. Did we have our first caller? No. No one. Okay. That's unfortunate. I guess we can talk about Zenfone 10 series. Oh, wait. No. The Zenfone is going to live on. Asus denies discontinuation rumors 4 days ago from CNET. It's not dead. Zenfone. Yes. Zenfone's been resurrected. I guess we can talk about the Sony Xperia 5V, which unfortunately lost its telephoto camera. But it does have some sort of AI, but like it's Sony. It's not like they're gonna be really good at AI. Is that the footage? Oh, my beating watch will get away from you. Right, there you go. Sony Xperia. Let's see, like the first thing. Oh no, I accidentally clicked an ad. Right there. Sony Xperia 1 Mark 5 Mini, I think. What's it called? No, not the 1 Mark 5, the cheap one. Oh, just the Sony Xperia V. Oh wait, that's just a film from 2012. Oh, that's why people are showing weird pictures of that. Okay, it has a 6.1 inch screen, no telephoto It's the Sony Xperia 5. Who names these things? Sony. V means 5. Okay. Pretty sure I could poll kids, and 60% know what that means. Okay. Anyway, so it's the Sony Xperia 5. That's a mouthful. 6.1 inches. Come on, you can make it 6.5 inches, but it's a compact flagship phone. It's in between the Xperia 1 Mark V and the Xperia 10 5, which okay, and it's the direct successor to the Xperia 5 Mark IV. So I guess it's the 5 Mark V. And the camera, here's the pros and cons. It has a compact size, 48 megapixel display, a 6.1 inch OLED at the display, but it has a slow fingerprint scanner, gets hot under load, no variable refresh rate. Okay, whatever. And it does have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and a micro SD card slot. So, I mean, this could be someone's next phone who's this illusion from Samsung. And it does have Sony's Creative Suite and great battery life. Unfortunately, there's no notification LED and no telephoto. I mean, I would recommend this one if it had a telephoto, but no telephoto, that's not good. I mean, it's a pro-grade phone. I mean, I know it does have like good cropping in and everything, but look, I'm going to criticize Samsung without including a telephoto. I'm going to criticize them for not, but it does have better battery life. Sony says it's 5 days. You should wake up with 50% battery life after a full day of use with the 5 Mark V. So that's nice. I don't know if I can make it with a 6.1 inch screen. Tell me. Call in on to the Tech Boy Show, 845-328-0140. Call in on the Tech Boy, and you can have your voice heard. Just make sure you don't have any profanity or anything like that. All right, so the Xperia 5 Mark V. You can tell me what you think about that phone. Would you buy it? Is it better than the S23 series, which launches at the same size, is cheaper at $799 other than $999. It has probably better software support and probably arguably better software. Yes, I guess you can get decks and everything. But there's no micro SD card slot or headphone jack, and you don't get Sony's Creative Suite. But you do get optical camera, and you get decks, which also means you can use an X-Rail display. Those AR sunglasses that some gadget guy likes to talk about. With that, well, I mean, I guess you can also do it with Sony because Sony also supports video out. Not so sure about this Sony, but definitely sure about this. And our last talk of the day, unless you call in today, 845-328-0140, will be on some gadget guy's website. I did interview this man in December, if you remember. And this is his website. Oh, wow, that's nice. All right. So AR glasses. Are they a sham? Are they not? Did he call SGG a huckster? All right. He calls them face displays. And he's just showing some things from movies and concept demos. And this makes no sense whatsoever. $499 for Apple glasses? Okay. Apple's not going to sell it unless this is obviously a real product, but unless let me think. No one's calling it. Maybe you can text it. You could also text this number if you want. By the way, unless you have to have an iPhone to use it, and of course, Apple will gladly sell $499 glasses that you need a phone to use for. Right? Well, not anymore. It's sort of First Person Pro, but as you sound here, companies like TCL, XRail, Inrail, different companies are pushing the barriers of mobile computing and technology. Their face displays are not like actual, well, I don't know, they are AR, but not like all around the building, like high-tech, movie-grade technology and gear. And if no one calls in, Within 30 seconds, we will stop this stream early because there is no more live chat. Let me see if the live chat's back up. Hello? Nope, it says the live chat is disabled. So that's it. God bless. Tech talk to you later. Pray for the nation. And remember that. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. One more thing. When you type in the Tech Boy or the Tech Boy Media into Google now, it's going to be a little bit weird because I'm signed into my Google account. Don't let like flip anything. This is what you'll get. So let me show you the screen. It's my business on Google. We got an official Google My Business profile. Yeah, that's right, guys. You got an official Google My Business profile. So we got, this is just only something I can sing, and then here's the AI. But this is my business here. It's listed as a Houston-based company. We do offer delivery. We're selling a nice TCL 40 XL over on eBay. And someone bid on my Galaxy Book Tab S6. Not Tab S6, 10.1. I'm actually selling it on the Tech Boys Google My Business profile as a deal. So you can go check out that bid here. And of course, you can visit our website, save, and call. We close at 12 a.m. tomorrow because we're closed on Sundays because Chick-fil-A and everything. And of course, if you want to call in, you can push that button on the screen, which will lead you to our awesome number, 845-328-0140. Once again, that is 845-328-0140. And I'm going to check for call/text-ins. Again, I'm going to just check to see if I have any messages from anyone, and then we will sign off. So if you want your questions and comments heard and read, be sure to check be sure to call that phone number in like the next 2 minutes. And as it's still loading, we're just waiting to see if I have any messages. Don't forget you can call 845-328-0140. And I know that there is at least one person watching this stream, and I know that you can call in. So call in if you want. If not, you can text in. Let's see. Exclu says label less, save more. Feel not. It's some stupid quiz, status, audio, dumb tech. Oh, wait. Here we have someone from Thursday. Hi, the Tech Boys. I'm X team from Blue Squad Mania. I want to make you a special marketing. Whole bunch of marketing text. Let's see if we got any NTB messages. I'll check. Okay, and Meta may allow you to avoid ads on its apps for free. Well, I avoid ads on Meta's apps all the time by not using them. Well, I use WhatsApp, but I've never seen an ad in WhatsApp a day in my life. And by I use WhatsApp, I mean I've used it to talk to people like a few times. I'm a big SMS artist. Oh, let's talk about that. Samsung has 2 messaging applications. So there's Samsung Messages, and then there's Google Messages, right? Those are 2 messaging applications. They both send SMSs, but unfortunately, there's no RCS support in Samsung Messages anymore. So I'm using Google Messages. I was using Google Messages, and I stick to it. But Samsung's customization is better. You can add chat room themes. You can group your conversations manually instead of having Google like force it by scanning the names of the conversations or whatever. Google does have AI features that will be coming in, but I haven't signed up for them yet. So I'm still using Samsung Messages, and it's kind of sad that I can't use 2 messaging apps, one for people who I know have Android phones and RCS, and another for iOS users. And I also want to know if Sunbird can group message for group message can be added to group messages if your number will pop up as green or blue. Lastly, I'd like RCS to come back to Samsung Messages so I can use it. That would be nice because I could RCS people and get the customization and features that Samsung Messages has. Though I am glad that Samsung does include Bixby messages in, not Bixby messages, but allow Bixby to work with Google Messages. And I did find one app that one other app that used RCS in the Play Store, but it didn't work. None of the replies worked, and had ads and everything. So I'm not sure if it's a scam or fake or anything like that. So I wouldn't use anything like that. For now, I'm using Samsung Messages, but if Google Messages has more customization features, or maybe Samsung depreciates Samsung Messages, then I'd use Google Messages. But that is all for real for now. I'm checking NTB one last time. Nothing came in. One last time, the call number on the screen, 845-328-0140. Oh well, God bless, tech talk to you later, and pray for the nation.